Hello, my name is Meeta Nagarkar, and I recently won an undergraduate research award for my program in the Environment Senior Honors Thesis entitled A Life History Analysis of Invasive Behavior in Native and Naturalized Species, Rubus odoratus and Rubus alleganiensis in the Nichols Arboretum. When I was originally trying to decide on a topic, I really only had two things in mind. The first being that I wanted to work on a local project where I would be able to collect my own data. And the second being that I would really like to work on a project that could potentially be used in an applied way. For ideas, I turned to one of my favorite places in Ann Arbor, which happened to be the Nichols Arboretum. I spoke with Professor Bob Gracie, the director of the gardens, and eventually chose to research two species of raspberry plants that have become somewhat of a management problem within the park due to their prolific spreading habits. This project allowed me to discover parts of U of M that otherwise would have remained a mystery to me. With the help of skilled librarians and professors, I first became much more familiar with the research process itself. I collected all my preliminary research using articles, books, and online databases from the graduate and undergraduate libraries. A large part of my work was actually figuring out how I would use my experimental setups. For this, I was able to again draw on past articles to look at research methods that had been used and that I might be able to use myself. The second component of my project involved a great deal of work looking at where current research in the fields of life history theory and of invasive species management stands. In addition, I tried to look at the history of the species themselves, as well as the history of my study site within the Nichols Arboretum. Most helpful to me were actually records from the Nichols Arboretum and information I gained from my trips to the Bentley Historical Library as well as the U of M Herbarium. From the Bentley, I was able to gain access to records of where and when the plants were first introduced to the park, as well as why they were introduced, which was for aesthetic purposes as well as to attract small birds and mammals with the fruit. From the U of M Herbarium, I was actually able to look at historical samples of the plants as well as see where the ranges of the plants occurred throughout Michigan. I was continually surprised by the wealth of information made available to me. Using library resources, I was able to not only study these two species of raspberries specifically, but as my project evolved to look at the bigger picture of how changing climate conditions as well as anthropogenic changes to our landscape might affect the spread of species such as the raspberry. Further, I was able to look at the implications of these changes from a management perspective.